what's up, Larry, baby? Listen, this is just a little remix to remind you that you are still the shiznit. So don't even worry about Darryl the Bomb and his B-Team minions, because you had a purpose before they even had an opinion. You still got much love out here, and you are still winning. So let those haters hate, and let those trolls troll. Wow. They are just mad because they will never ever rise to your level. Y'all haters ain't on his 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 level. You ain't on his level. Here we go. We're gonna start with Darryl Moore. You ain't on his level. And I'll say your name, cause from the depths of the hell you came. You's a dirty old man. You came up with a lame ass plan. You tried to take Larry down, or with a proof that was unfound. Shame on you. Find something else better to do. Cause that same ditch that you dig in is the same ditch your ass gonna fall in. You recruited El Carter, and his dumb ass ain't no smarter. And as a matter of fact, I think you want Larry's feet in your crack. Damn! Marcellus, looking like Hannibal Buress. You're always making threats, but ain't never done a damn thing yet. Ain't you that gutter snake who made fun of Larry's rape? You'll say it ain't so, but when we saw you on a video, shut the hell up and sip your tea, because a badass you'll never be. All you do is talk shit with that lame ass 18 clip. And now we got big little Kim, who really just wants to sit in. I won't go in on you, sis, but you're so much better than this. And Roxanne, Darryl don't want to be your man. He is just using you because he needs a thinking of you. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Black Mr. Clean. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Whoever the hell y'all be, you ain't on his level. Y'all the biggest haters I ever seen. Y'all niggas ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. You ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. You ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Y'all niggas ain't on his level. Y'all ain't on his level. You will never be on his level. Hey, you ain't on his level. You tried it though. Gotta give you an A for effort, but you really got an E for epic failure. Now go cry in the car.
Hey y'all, I am back, child. We had to do a back-to-back, baby. We had to do a back-to-back, darling. There's a lot going on. Hold on, y'all. I got a lot going on, okay? Drop the lane, chat. Okay, so we just got done with the Jimmy Battles commentary, girl. I had to respond to that heathen ass. Okay, and then I led into a conversation about the past. And so there were some of you guys asking some questions in the chat regarding Andrea Garrison. You guys may also know her as the Vixen, or as I had termed her, Medusa, okay? She's now my good Scorpio sister. And so I said, well, you know, I don't really want to speak for her. I would rather her speak for herself. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to bring her on. And I'm going to let you guys talk to her, ask her questions. Once again, me, her, and Larry did also do an interview last year. So you guys can definitely check that out, because we got into a bit of the origin story as well. And I'm probably going to recap just a little bit, so everybody who's going to be like tuning into this live and didn't see the last one can have a proper context for this conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for because she's already here. Hey, peace, love. What's going on, Yvette? What's going on? I am back. Hey, Pamela. Hey, T. Trish. What's going on, Classy? I think all of my mods. Hey, Ron, Mexico, what's going on? Yes, back to back, baby. Okay. Hey, MK, what's going on? Dream 511. Hey, Victoria. Hey, Melissa. Hey, SM Bynum. Hey, Lovely. What's going on, Senior? Okay, y'all. Hey, Ray. Let me make sure I speak to everybody. Melissa. I think that's everybody. Okay. All right. So let me drop this link. Andrea, hit the link, boo. Okay, this link is only for Andrea for the time being. And while I'm dropping the link for Andrea to get here, well, I'll get into the origin story when she get up here, and we'll just go through it. Okay. I'm gonna ask her all the questions that people want to know. Okay. Andrea reserves the right to answer to what she wants to and what she doesn't want to, and in the degree in which she so desires to. Okay. So you know, this is just an informational dialogue as it relates to the past, and I guess it's timely. You know, it's a lot of new players involved. It's a lot of folk who just coming in to all of this and trying to figure out what's going on. So I guess these origin stories are necessary. I've already broken a lot of this shit down for those who've been keeping up from like the beginning of the lawsuit and everything. I went into like an epic origin story. And first time live. What's going on, Uncle Petty? First time live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this your first time, if this your first live, then you're probably a little out of the loop in terms of what we're talking about today. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Okay, but I hope you can keep up and everything. Once again, I want you guys to refer to my playlist called the Larry Reid Live Lawsuit. And just start with the first video for all of you who literally are clueless as to what the fuck all this is about, because it will all be explained away in that playlist. Let me let her know I just dropped the link, y'all. Just dropped the link. And if you didn't catch the previous live, make sure that you guys catch the previous live, because I had to address a whore, and I will address the whore again and again if need be. That's what's gonna happen, okay? Just drop the link in chat. Okay. Let me see here, you guys. Give me 1 second. What's going on, Reese? Okay, let me just drop this again for Andrea, y'all. Okay, she should be in the chat. So, okay, I think this is her. Let me go ahead and delete this one. Actually, I can't put myself in timeout. Hold on, let me make sure this her, you guys. You ain't no hello, ain't no hello, ain't no hello, ain't no hello. Hold on, y'all. Andrea? Andrea?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, and like my layover didn't even work. It is Mr. Potato Head's old dilapidated gated community
I was supposed to say, who
welfare complex. Anyway, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm actually really excited to have you up. I feel like we don't speak enough on this platform together. So I am like happy that you're here. The people had some questions due
You
to
get stalked when you come on your platform, Conscious. I'm scared.
huh?
You get stalked. I'm scared. I don't want to get stalked now.
No stalking, no stalking. So the people had some questions for you. And I guess the way I would like to open up this dialogue is like, I'm gonna.
You ask the questions, I'll answer.
Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna go over what happened on my end when I got introduced to you, and then we can go into what happens to you the remainder of the way.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
That's fine.
Okay, and as a disclaimer to everybody is fine. Okay, me and Andrea are definitely fine. Me and Jives is fine. This is just a dialogue, just to help set the context once again for newcomers and those who are onlooking, those who never got a chance to speak to Andrea regarding some of the things that have happened over the past 2 years. even some of the things that's maybe going on now, we can speak to Andrea about. And so, as I was saying in the previous live, that when all of this took place, I was just coming off of helping Bishop Matthews get William McWig sued. And so I had took like a month and a half hiatus at that time. Like this was like toward the later end of 2019. Matter of fact, I think I was on the case around this time 2 years ago. And I was exhausted because Bishop Matthews basically funded his lawsuit, but I was the brains to the fucking operation. Like I had to figure out where William McWig was. I had to fly into Atlanta. I had to hunt this hole down. I had to find somebody to process serve him. I had to put together the game plan. I mean, it was like a lot going in. And then on the front end, I was also carrying the story as a commentator. So I was both being a commentator and I was also actively involved in every bit of what was going on within that case. And so when things had came to conclusion, Bishop Matthews had got what he wanted. I was like over it, like a good kind of over it, not like because this is what I do. You know, this is who I am. This is what I would want to use my platform for. So I was just exhausted. So in that time, about a month and a half after the William McWig stuff got wrapped up, Jives had inboxed me one day. And he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?" He was like, "I'm doing it fine." And he was like, "Andrea, are you still there?" Hold on, y'all. I got two Andreas here. Hold on. I think she might have got disconnected. Hold on. Let me put my overlay up, child. Yeah. Up. Okay, I think we might have lost Andrea. Hello? I think we did. I'm gonna let her get in here. Hold on. Andrea. I think this is her. Hold on. Hello?
Okay.
Okay. Are you good?
Sorry, I'm hot. I'm on the 25th floor.
Okay. All right. You good. Let me get this other Andrea out of here because the other connection is still in here. Okay. So at that time, I'm chilling, minding my business. At this time, I hadn't been watching nobody. I hadn't been watching Jives. I had not been watching Larry. I was like so busy, caught up in my own stuff. And I was just like literally on a vacation. So I was oblivious to what the fuck was going on. So King Jives had inboxed me. He was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I thought you was mad at me." And I was like, "Mad at you for what?" Like, so that led to a phone call. And he was like, "Yeah, I thought you was upset at me. You wasn't speaking to me." I was like, "No, I'm not upset at anybody." I said, "I just been chilling." I said, I like, why would I be upset at you? And he was like, "Well," he was like, "because of what I've been saying in my videos." And I was like, "Well, I haven't really been watching it because I've been like on a bit of a hiatus. So I don't know what you've been saying on your videos." And he was like, "Well, you know, like I just was telling you to just be careful about Larry." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, I didn't hear those comments. And what do you mean by be careful about Larry?" He was like, "Well, I'd rather you just hear it for yourself. There's someone I think you should meet." And I said, "Okay." And then that led to a three-way phone call. And this is when I was introduced to Miss Andrea for the first time. And Jives had preferenced this conversation around, well, you know, this is Andrea. You know, she came from Larry's platform. She had a story that Larry ran for her. And me and her are working on some legislation around her case. And she shared something with me that I think is important for you to know. And I think you should like hear it from her. And then Andrea proceeded to tell me, in a nutshell, that Larry had pretty much told her, you know, to stick with him and not to work with any other bloggers, me and Jives, and particularly because he was a bigger blogger, he had a bigger platform than me and Jives had. And my response to that was, okay, like for me, it was like facts. I'm like, he is a larger platform, and his platform is more extensive. So that makes sense to me, especially if a person is trying to get their story told, that you would obviously go with people who got the most juice. And I also thought it was intelligent on his behalf because he had already been invested in the story. And so I understood from a commentator's perspective how it can be messy if you already connected to a story, and then you're working, and then other bloggers are working with the source that you're working with, because sometimes different information is given to different bloggers, and then it can make you look bad as a commentator because this person gave information on this other person's platform that wasn't given on yours, and now you look incompetent and it look like you don't have all the facts when that's not really the case, and it can just become a bit much. So I was like, I can understand personally why he would want you to stick close to him, and the truth is he does have a larger platform. Well, that led into some tension between me and Miss Garrison on the phone, and Miss Garrison was just like, well, I don't really care what you really do with the information. You can do what you will with the information. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could throw it out or you could hold on to it. It doesn't make me, no, never mind. And I was like, well, I'm okay with the information. Like, I'm okay. Like, I don't have a problem. I'm not irritated. I don't have an issue with Larry. That doesn't bother me, blah, 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 blah. And then before I know it, Andrea was off the phone. And Jives proceeded to tell me that Andrea was upset and felt like I was being away, which was confusing to me because our only conversation on the phone had been about what Larry had said to her and what she was relaying to me. And so I was like, well, I'm thinking to myself, if I could do what I want with the information, I don't know why the fuck she would be upset. Like, she's supposed to be not invested, whether I run with it or not run with it. So that was that. And I was like, okay. But then Andrea was in my inbox on Facebook the next morning, and she was like, I just kind of want to, talk about what happened last night. And we cleared it up. And she was just like, maybe I miscommunicated. And I just told her, I told her I think it's best that she just focus on her actual story because it's probably going to get really messy. And the conversations around Larry are probably going to eclipse her story and all of that. And we got on the same page, and she was like, well, this is my number if you ever want to talk, blah, blah, blah. And so it was cool. And then from there, things between Jives and Larry kept getting bad. So then me and Larry end up doing a live. And in that conversation, Larry had discussed Andrea and had discussed his feelings around King Jives. And then me and Andrea entered into another tense episode because apparently she was dragging me on Facebook at this point because she felt like I was giving Larry room to talk bad about her and all this, which I didn't feel that way. I felt like Larry spoke his experience, but he wasn't. I would never allow somebody on my platform to bash anybody in particular, but I will allow a person to share their experience. And I felt like Larry was just sharing his experience of Andrea and just sharing his experience of King Jives. But at that time, shit was so tense between everybody, and so much stuff was happening on a public level that egos at that point was just fucking exploding. And so now Andrea's dragging me, and I was like literally feeling away because when I had initially met Andrea, like, even though we kind of got off to a wrong start, I kind of liked her. And I was like, damn, this went bad for no reason. I don't even have no issue with her. And so then I was communicating behind the scenes with Jives, like, why is Andrea so upset? I don't have a problem with her. I don't have a problem with her. I don't want a problem with her. I don't have no smoke with her. Blah, 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 blah. And Jives was just trying to also cool it on his end. Like, like, You know, that, like he was just trying to stay neutral for the most part, which I can respect because I was trying to stay neutral between him and Larry. So I was just like, okay, but I just need that's your friend though, and you can see I'm not doing anything to her. So I'm going to expect you to like kind of, you know, squash that. It'd be one thing if I was doing something. I'm not doing anything to her. I don't speak about her. I haven't done a video about her, made a post about her. Like, I didn't even say anything when Larry was giving his experience of Andrea. I wasn't co-signing him. I wasn't saying, yeah, that's true. I just let him speak. And then I just moved on to my questions. Like, so I literally like, and I was intentionally being mindful of that because I just did not want anything to be misrepresented or miscommunicated on my end. And so I'm gonna stop right there and let you, Andrea, into the conversation and let you tell me what was your experience coming directly in to proximity to King Jives, and then in proximity to me, and then in proximity to Darryl, if you are okay with speaking about your perspective and position um regarding that, if you're still there, because I think you're muted, I believe.
I'm here. I have
Okay, all
myself
right.
muted. My bad.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll just say this. As far as your recollection of pretty much how things went down, that's pretty much the nitty gritty of how things went down, and the
Mm-hmm.
start of that. But I just first want to say I'm not going to bash anybody. I'm not going to talk down on anybody, except for even I'm not even going to bash that person, the name we are
Mm-hmm.
not about to say, Fupa.
Yes.
But I'm not even going to bash him. But just in general, when it came down to the whole me and Jais thing, which me and Jais have reconciled, me and Larry have reconciled, you and I have reconciled.
Yes.
Um, I have no ill will towards Miko. I don't believe that Miko has any ill will towards me, just more or less frustration. And that's okay. You know what I mean? We good on
Mm-hmm.
this side, period, is how I feel.
Right.
As far as, how commentators could feel how they feel, but they're not living what we're actually living. They're just watching and they're just seeing what we show them, but they don't know half of what's going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as when it came to when I went to King Jives, the same thing that I had said to Miss Miko, I will say again. When I went to Jives and Jives validated it himself, I did not go to Jives and malice against Larry. Larry and I had our own thing going on that was between Larry and I. Larry and I have reconciled that. Larry and I are on great terms. We see each other, we speak, this conscious. So we
Mm-hmm.
good, you know what I mean? We had our
Yes.
own thing going on. It turned into an online beef for like a whole hot second. Nobody stalked anybody. Nobody doxed anybody. We said what we said about each other. That was that. We reconciled. What he and I discussed behind the scenes is what we discussed. We both apologized publicly. We both apologized privately. And we did it on your channel, from what I recall. Um, J.I. said himself, I did not come to him in malice against Larry. So I don't need to defend that at all because he said it himself. I didn't. When it came to the conversation with you, I was asked to speak to you. That's what I did. We know what happened behind the scenes when it came to that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to rehash that. When it came to Miko,
Right.
we know how I feel. We know how Miko feel. There's no need to rehash that. But as far as people have the question of, did I have anything to do with the stalking of Larry Reid and anybody? First of all, for anyone to even think that of me is like, how dare you? Because I was actually stalked by Fupa, like physically stalked, and people don't know this because I didn't talk about it publicly, but you know this, Conscious.
Yeah, and I just want to say this, Andrea, real quick. I'm gonna put some comments up on the screen, like just so, like if you do want to answer or speak to them,
Oh,
you can.
okay, go ahead. That's
All right.
fine.
Okay.
But when it came to that, no. Actually, how it all went down, the reason why Fupa doesn't like me is because, again, Larry and I had our issues. He said what he said about me on his channel. I said what I said about him on my channel. We did what we did. We reconciled that, but I never assisted in stalking anyone, which Larry Reid can contest to that as well as you. And I was actually
Mm-hmm.
helping behind the scenes big time, which is why dear Fupa hates me, is because he sent me a file and we realized that he was stalking Larry. I peeped. I was like, wait. you stalking Larry Reid. And that's where the original conversation came from, where he keeps referencing this video that me, him, and Jives did. And it's like, that's not what that conversation was. Fupa asked me to facilitate a call between him and Larry Reid because he wanted to talk to Larry. Larry wasn't with the shenanigans, but finally Larry caved and was like, fine, let's just see what happens. We get Fupa on the line, and next thing you know, he's threatening Larry's life. I didn't know the call was being recorded. I don't know who recorded the call. There was multiple people on the line, but the call got recorded. The video got uploaded. That's what happened. Fupa got upset because I gave Larry the documents that he sent me from Matthew Stephenson's attorneys. They was forwarding information to Fupa. Fupa sent it to me on accident
you
or
mean
whatever.
Matthew Stephenson's, or do you mean E. Dewey?
It might have been Dewey. It was one of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was one of them.
because E. Dewey
But
is
you know that whole
yeah.
situation where that's how we knew that Fupa was actually physically stalking Larry. And when that happened, that's when I walked away. I was never a part of stalking anyone. And that's how Larry was able to begin the foundation of his case, which Larry will say that. You know what I mean? That's a part of the case, period. And Darryl knows this, or Fupa knows this. So that's how that happened. And then from there, he found everybody put out the audios of he and I's conversation, but you guys was protecting me, so y'all excluded me. And finally, we all decided as a crew, it's time to just drop the real audio. Since he keep lying about the audio, let's drop the raw footage. He was talking to me. He got upset. We had a whole conversation, me, him, Marcella, Kimberly was in that group chat. Harlow was in that group chat. We were all in that group chat. Everybody. And I still got the messages, which you've seen them. The lawyers have seen the messages. Jives, everybody seen these messages. I still got them. And basically, we all got into an argument. Everyone's like, how could you record Darryl? I'm like, I didn't record him. Someone else did. But yes, he was talking to me, and he did say that. Like, I told him, you're stalking him, and I went to Kimberly as well. Y'all are stalking him. Like, I can't condone if someone's stalking someone. Next thing you know, I began to get stalked because I stood up to them stalking him. Like, I was like, wait, this is where I draw the line. Like, if you want to talk shit about somebody, talk shit until you can't talk shit no more. But once you actually start trying to interfere in people's personal lives, that's where I draw the line, because that's like, you're doing too much. Like, everybody can get a commentary. You can say whatever you want about me. You could talk about me till you blue in the face. You could talk about I'm a whore, I'm a harlot, I'm a Jezebel, I'm all these things. That's great. But once you start actually interfering in my personal life, now you're crossing the line. And when he did that to Larry, I immediately notified Larry. And I sent Larry everything he needed. I told Larry what was going on. And I was like, yo, this ain't cool. Like, I'm not with this shit. And ever since then, I began to become stalked. My fiance was stalked. CPS was called on me multiple times. The police was called on me. They called me when I went to file a police report. They was like, hey, by the way, he's been calling up here. You know what I mean? Like, this is horrible. Like, I didn't do nothing. All I said was, I'm not okay with this. I set my boundary, and all of a sudden, I became the harlot. I became the whore. I became the Jezebel. I was never the beginning of the beef between Larry and Jives. Apparently, they were beefing before I even came along. People were mad at me because I went from Larry's platform to Jives' platform. I never went to Jives' platform in malice. And niggas ain't getting mad at nobody, at these other people that go from platform to platform, that go from news station to news station. My situation was real. This wasn't about being loyal to Larry. I didn't even know Larry.
Yeah, let's be honest too, Andrea. Like, let's be honest too, though. Like, the church sector is so tiny that it's not like you have 50 million 11 options. I mean, there's really it's only Jives, Larry, and William McWig holding the spot, really.
But that was the whole thing, and that's what people didn't even understand. I never went to Larry. I went to William McCrae. That was who I knew. I knew who William McCrae was. I didn't even know who Larry was. You know what I mean? But Larry, I love Larry. Larry took my story, and Larry did exactly what he said he would do with my story, period. You know what I mean? I have a great love for Larry. Larry is excellent. He is awesome. But in all fairness, I didn't know. I wasn't in the church sector at that time. Right. I wasn't even a YouTuber. Like, someone reached out to me. You know what I mean? He reached out to me. We ended up building a relationship, and we ended up, he did what he said he would do with my story, period. And people were mad at me, like, oh, you're jumping from platform to platform. Okay, so when Princess Diana go from platform to platform, are you mad at her? Okay, so when Susan, whose house burnt down and she needs help raising money, do you get mad at her from going from CNN to CBS to, Channel 9? No, like, I did what I wanted to do, which was I wanted to get my story out there because I wanted to accomplish a certain thing. I didn't care about the beef. I didn't care about the drama. The whole Jives and Larry, that was before I was even born. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't even around for that. Like, I didn't know that they was beefing. I didn't even know that they even knew each other at the time. All I knew was Larry said, don't go to anybody else because basically I have the story and no one's going to tell the story like me. And he said it out his own mouth. Yes, I said that when we were on your channel last time. So it's like people wanted there to be a drama and there had to be a villain. There had to be a vixen. There had to be someone. And at the end of the day, we all handle our stuff behind the scenes. And I'm not here to pacify the audience or make the audience feel a certain way about one person or another person, because at the end of the day, the real issue at hand is that we can all talk about each other till we get blue in the face. But once you start stalking, that's when the issue comes in. Miko never stalked me. You never stalked me. Larry never stalked Jives. Jives never stalked you. You never stalked Miko. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't calling each other's jobs, trying to get each other fired. We would pop trash. You told me I had Walmart bundles. You feel me? Like, I was like,
Oh
well,
my
hold
God.
on. I did go condition my curls though. But
Right.
in all fairness, nobody stalked each other over here. Nobody went that
Yeah.
far. These people are literally putting Miko's her face on a t-shirt. These people are literally contacting people's families, sending them letters like, if you don't leave, we're gonna stalk you. Going to people's houses, driving to other states, doxing people. Like, nobody on this side never did any of that. And that's why we're able to, at the end of the day, work together for what we need to work together for. But as far as the rest of them, none of us on this side did anything to warrant being stalked. I'm being stalked literally because I stood up for Larry Reid, and then people have the audacity to ask me if I had anything to do with Larry being stalked. Like, it's a slap in the face because I literally stood up for Larry against Fupa, and now I'm being stalked, like legitimately stalked. My mother-in-law's house being shown on YouTube. She's 90 something years old and has nothing to do with nothing. So it's a
Yeah.
slap in the face to me when viewers have the audacity to even ask me this. Like, I've never bullied anybody. Show me where I made a video. Show me where I bullied someone. Show me where I attacked someone without someone messing with me first.
Well,
And
you
again,
attacked
show me where
me,
I
but
attacked you.
we
Huh?
okay. I was gonna say yes. But
Listen.
I think the part that people keep rolling over is the fact that, because what I was saying before I started the new live was, it's one thing for people to not like each other, talk shit about each other, etc. I said, but when things got to a place where it felt dangerous and somebody could be hurt, that's when Andrea did what any rational, healthy person would have did, which was like, okay, it's a difference between us not liking Larry and then you having his deposition papers with all of his personal info on it, and you're also
Exactly. But
making these
people don't
threats
know that I
upon
did
his
that
life
though.
on top of that.
Don't
And I
know
ain't
that.
here for none of that shit. Would that be accurate?
But that's the thing, Conscious. People don't know that literally the whole reason why Larry is able to even, the foundation was literally me releasing those documents to him immediately. Immediately, not even just the recording, the fact that I gave Larry the email, I forwarded the whole thing, the thread. He saw who had it, which was Fupa, and who Fupa got it from, and who the person that got it from that gave it to Fupa, who they got it from. We saw the chain, and that was able to help set off that whole Dewey case and all that. Period. But people didn't know that. I actually released real life shit to Larry and got stalked, was threatened and everything. That Fupa was trying to shut me up. He was calling CPS on me, trying to get my kids taken from
Yeah.
me. But people didn't know that though. People didn't know what I was
Mm-hmm.
going through behind the scenes because there
Yeah.
had to be a vixen. And it was like, no, I didn't do nothing wrong, actually. I did what any person that wanted to get the story out there did. I took my story and I shot my story around, and whoever picked up the story picked up the story. Nobody got mad at Christian Post. Christian Post ran the hell out of my story. Did nobody run down the Cincinnati Enquirer? Cincinnati Enquirer ran my story. Did nobody run down the Griot? The Griot ran my story. Did nobody run down Europe Girl? They ran my story. Black Beauty ran my story. Nobody ran down any of them. They ran down the bloggers. And at the end of the day, I don't owe nobody in the audience nothing, because nobody in the audience has offered to help me, tried to help me, tried to do anything in general for me, period. So with that being said, I know what I did to help the cause, and I know what backlash I received, and I am not sitting in an audience. I'm the one that has to worry about my mother-in-law being stalked at her house. I'm the one that has to worry about my children because CPS is being called on me for no reason. I'm the one that has to worry about if I open my door and the cops are standing there because someone keeps calling the cops on me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not okay. So I get what Miko is
Right.
saying for what she's dealing with. Someone's calling the cops on her. Someone's putting her face on a t-shirt. Like, how dare you? These guys got on YouTube and said, oh, call Con Edison and turn her lights off. And all I did was tell Larry, hey, be careful. Here's the evidence. Get this to your lawyer. Something ain't right, but I feel like you being stalked. You know what I mean? Like, that warrants me and my family being put in danger because there's a psychopath
Absolutely.
running loose
Right.
in Cleveland. And we know psychopaths and serial killers come from Cleveland. But I'm tired of, like, even like, if we're going to address somebody, let's address Harlow. Harlow's throwing heavy comments in the section. But Harlow, you was a part of actually stalking people. And let's keep it real. I didn't help stalk nobody. I didn't help stalk not a near person. I'm being stalked because I didn't help anyone stalk anyone. Harlow, you actually assisted in Larry Reid being stalked and me being stalked, and you sat on panels and talked about me knowing that you guys were calling CPS on my kids. And you got the audacity to sit up here and call me a devil and say all these things about me. But Harlow, you was jocking me when you left the team. And when I didn't want to help you because of you helping stalk me, you flipped on me and tried to run to Conscious and Miko and them. Keep it G for I start leaking inboxes and I start leaking text messages. I'm tired of being the villain when I'm literally being stalked, real life stuff, because I decided to help someone. What me and Larry went through was private. We had our spat, but I never stalked him. And he would never in a million years say that. He wouldn't come see me when he comes in town if I stalked him. He wouldn't take a picture with me if I was stalking him. He wouldn't contact me or me contact him if I was stalking him. So I just get tired of it. But that's all I got to say.
So I think you just made some very interesting points. How do you feel about pretty girl hate? Ron Mexico says, keep it a buck. Y'all be giving Harlow love like he wasn't on the other side too. Like I said, pretty girl hate. Do you feel that because, well, let me just say this.
Wait, say that again? What does that even mean? Y'all low key be hating on women. Y'all
No,
feel inferior
I'm gonna
to
break it
her.
down. I'm gonna break it down.
Well, no, he said her story ain't no different than that than Migo, Larry Reid,
No,
guys.
I'm gonna break it down.
Yeah.
It was actually in support of you.
Well, actually, I think I caught it, but in piggyback off of that real quick, Harlow. So but this could be a whole topic for another time. But Harlow made a comment and said her yellow something, but he mentioned my skin color. And it bothered me because Kim and them, as well as Marcellus, as well as Darryl, as well as people in general, when my story broke, it was always, oh, she uses her near white skin to bring down brothers, and oh, that yellow bitch, or this red bone, or yeah. And it's always about my skin tone. And it does, but in retrospect, and this is not to bring up anything bad, but there was a situation with another person. I'm not even going to say their name just because. But that person mentioned my skin tone to another person and then flipped it like I was saying, like, oh, you don't like me because of my skin tone. And it's like, no, you actually made a comment about my skin tone. And I say, well, what? You don't like me because I'm light skinned? Like, and that was a question in response to what was said. But I've been getting that a lot too. And when it comes to Harlow, unfortunately, Harlow can kiss my whole yellow ass because you assisted in stalking people and you was only kind to people when you needed help because you did it to Conscious too. You flipped on him when he didn't want to help you. And now you team dick riding because you need a place to sit. And that's okay because I'm not a mean girl. You can sit at the table, boo, because you've been stalked and you've been harassed too. But like Conscious told me, I had to deal what I had to deal with Fupa because I made the ill choice of sitting at his table at any point. So you gotta take that L on the chin too, sir.
I think that was very articulate of you. I will say that I think that you and Harlow both, like, if we're gonna, obviously, like, we have moved forward with Harlow and completely forgiven him, it literally would only be fair to do the same thing for you, because nobody is beyond redemption. And if
Well, Harlow
anybody
made
can,
these comments tonight in the chat. Actually, he called
yeah,
me the
I
yellow.
saw Harlow's comments. And I do find Harlow's position to be unique because Harlow, as you just said, y'all all were at the same table. So you can't literally be any worse than
Except
Harlow.
for
Harlow
Harlow
can't be any worse
wasn't.
than you.
But
So
Harlow wasn't.
If it's okay for
Harlow
Harlow to move,
stalking us.
if it's okay for Harlow to move forward, then it obviously should be okay for you to be able to move forward as well.
That's
For
true, but
sure.
Harlow insisted in stalking, and then this is my thing. It's one thing. This is okay. Let me break it down like this. Then it's one thing if Harlow had did what he did, right, and then he ain't got kissed nobody ass. He don't owe nothing to nobody. But it's one thing if Harlow did what he did, and then he come forward and he just be cool, calm, and collective. He ain't got nothing nice to say. Be chill in the chat. Period. But it's one thing to be a part of assisting and stalking people, knowing that you helped stalk me, knowing that I did nothing. I did nothing to you. I did nothing to you but be kind to you on some G shit, and I could drop receipts. Did nothing but be kind to you. When you decided to stalk me, I wished you well on your endeavors, and that was the last conversation. Then you reached out when they dumped you, asked me for assistance on reaching out to gay rights activists and all this stuff for assistance, and I had no help because you just helped stalk me. The fuck I look like? You sound dumb. You sound like Fupa telling me, oh, come on. No, what? You stalked me, period. And I got children, and I didn't do nothing to you guys but decide that I don't want to tolerate you or deal with you. I'm allowed to say that I don't want to deal with you. That means I got to be stalked because I don't want to deal with you. Like, think if that was the world. Everybody that you decide you don't want to deal with, they decide to stalk you. For real. Like, come on. So with that being said, not only did you do that, but then even tonight, even though you've been throwing shade in the chats long time, I've never disrespected you in the chats. I've not disrespected anybody in anybody's chats recently as of the last year. So with that being said, you still chose to come on tonight and be disrespectful towards me, knowing that I did nothing to you. F out of here, sir.
Well,
But that's
like I
just
said,
that. That's not even
no.
what this is about.
I agree,
That's
because
not
I
even
want to
what
ask you
this is
something.
about.
I want to ask you something. I want to ask you something else too. Like, for me, I'm a forgiving person. I'm going to receive anybody's apology. I know that Harlow, aka Big Rainy, was a part of the Foolala in the most hardcore of ways. You sat at Darryl's table at one point in time too. I forgave you. I was going to forgive Harlow. If Harlow also is on the recipient end of forgiveness, I think that Harlow should also should extend forgiveness toward you as well, because he's being
But there
just
was
as
nothing to
redeemed.
forgive me for because I didn't do nothing to Harlow. I just decided not to
No.
Harlow.
Not in that sense, but just in terms
Let's
of
not
just
pre.
how.
I was
No,
gonna say,
not
hold on. Let's not. I'm not asking
not
for forgiveness on any
none.
aspect because I didn't do
We
nothing to
know,
Harlow.
Andrea. We know I'm making these comments. Like, they're not coming from you. And
Oh,
you have
okay.
not
I was
done.
just clarifying. I love
And
you
you
guys, but
haven't.
I was just clarifying. I did not do
I'm trying to
nothing
talk
to
so that
Harlow.
I can. I want to clarify here, like, because I'm trying to talk so I can be clear about it. You have not done anything to Harlow, but I'm now speaking directly to Harlow as if Harlow is watching this.
Right.
Just like I understand that everybody saw some ugly shit out of everybody, but
Right.
if Harlow was a part of the ugly shit too, and Harlow is redeeming himself,
But you know what?
Harlow by
But
Harlow
Harlow
by
ain't
deep.
stalk none of us. In all fairness, he ain't stalk us. He just helped stalk Larry. Well, he kind of helped stalk me because he was on the team and then he left. They booted him in the middle of stalking me, so he get half a stalk. He half a stalks. He
I want to
half
make
a
sure
stalk.
though that I want to make sure though that I can complete my thoughts, because too much shit gets taken out of context constantly when it comes to trying to have these conversations. So I want to be super clear in what I'm stating. Harlow was with the fuck shit. Harlow was forgiven for the fuck shit. That by default really has to make Harlow consider also letting go of whatever you contributed to the fuck shit as well, because at one point in time, y'all both were with the fuck shit. So just like you, I'm a little kerfuddled about why Harlow is holding to the feeling that he's holding on to, because y'all both coming out of the fire. Y'all both have came out of the fire. And I think that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if Harlow gets to evolve, Andrea Garrison gets to fucking evolve as well. Now, I also want to say that I do believe you were the fall guy for a lot of shit. And maybe maybe a plethora of things were involved in you being the fall guy. Maybe it was because nobody knew who you were, so it was easier to blame things on the new girl, and to just say, hey, it got to be because Andrea. This whole shit is happening because Andrea. She's the only new. Hold on. I'm gonna let you get into it. She's the new comet in the sky. It's just easier to say it's her. I also believe that there are some things on a deeper level. As you said, there have been comments made by multiple people regarding your attractiveness. There's been multiple comments made by multiple people regarding your skin tone. There is inferiority. There is a colorism and all of that complexity that is, I can also see that because I also speak deeply about those things and how they impact us psychologically and spiritually. So there was a lot going on in term of people projecting the big bad devil onto you. I agree with you that it, like, separate from all the shit that people don't have a right to blame you for and use to make you more of a villain than what you really contributed to the situation. Everybody in this situation has to take fucking responsibility for their part, okay? I am in this shit because I told a psychopath no. And I told a psychopath no. When I told a psychopath no, I stood behind and beside my friend Larry. And motherfuckers tried to come for me because they couldn't get me out of the way. Mikko is in this shit because she stood up to you on behalf of her brother, the way that I stood up for my friend. And my friend's in the situation. I lost a friend in the beginning of this. Me and King Jives fell out because of me trying to be super saber hole between my two niggas. And then I caught heat when that relationship collapsed and I was only standing on the side of Larry. And so, like, I can't blame you for that. And I've told King Jives that too. I said, look, Andrea could have came and said what she wanted to say. She could have came and said, look, Larry talks all the shit. He talked all the shit about y'all. At the end of the day, me and you fell out because of the way you was handling shit as it relates to you and I. And I was upset at you, King Jives, for the way you was handling shit with Larry, because regardless of what Andrea was being blamed for, that had nothing to do with you not calling this man and saying, hey, this is what's being said to me. That's not an excuse for why you never picked up the phone. It's not an excuse for why you never communicated properly to Larry. It's not an excuse why you backed off of me, because I was doing the same shit that MsMikko was doing. MsMikko was challenging this whole shit from the get-go. I was challenging this whole shit from the get-go. But I was penalized for doing it, for being a friend and being just as passionate as MsMikko was being to Jives. And so there's like, nobody should try to run from shit. Like, everybody in this situation got to stand in their shit. Everybody in a situation got to take 100% responsibility. Like,
So
shit
then if
popped
that's
off.
the case,
Shit popped off because motherfuckers had attitudes about Larry, right? Then shit got out of control. And then other people who were friends to people involved stepped in to be a friend to their friend, and they got targeted. Okay?
so
Like,
can
but
I
we
ask a
all made
question, Conscious?
choices.
Can I
We all
ask
made
one question
choices.
just to piggyback off of where you at right now? Because you speaking the word, and I'm on some G. I feel you. Everybody gotta hold themselves accountable, and in all fairness, I feel that I personally have proven myself behind the scenes within talking to everybody, because I'm not even mainstream with it. I don't even really get on channels and talk about anything unless I'm on your platform, literally. So behind the scenes, I feel that I've held accountability 10 toes down, period, for my part in everything. What I've done, what I haven't done, period, between all of us. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So if that's the case, if we gotta hold everybody accountable, like, I low-key want to go somewhere, but I kind of don't want to go somewhere because of everything that is going on, and I don't want to add to nothing.
I'm gonna
But
be
I feel
honest,
like,
Andrea. I'm gonna be honest, Andrea. You have been the person who I feel like has not really had an opportunity to really talk your shit and to really go into your part. And because you're not a content creator for a long time, I empathize with you not having the same ability to just like go to your platform the way that I can, or Larry can, or Miko
well, it's
can,
not even
and,
that.
and
I could, but I could, because I create content, just not on YouTube. My content.
well,
So
this
on
is a
Instagram.
free lane, honey. You know, like I mean, I'm giving you the green light to do like what you got to do
But
in
I'm
this
just saying,
dialogue.
my whole thing is this. I just want to say this, that I'm not even gonna do it. Nope. The spirit saying don't do it. I ain't gonna do it.
Okay, but listen, listen to spirit now. If spirit said hell to the now,
I ain't
then
gonna do
it's
it. I'm
on to
not
the
gonna do
now.
it because it wouldn't even be right with everything that's going on. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. If I end up having to do it, I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Put it like that. We'll do that. Because I want to be respectful to everything that's going on but I'm just saying I agree 110% as far as everybody has to hold their accountability. My whole thing is when my story broke, whether people believe my story, don't believe my story, at this point I really don't care. You know what I mean? Because I know what I went through, and what I went through is very real, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody else, period. No one could ever say I bullied them or I attacked them or I started just going in on them. Like, show me the evidence that I've done this to you. The only person that I can genuinely give that to is Conscious, because I did go off on Conscious, but as we all talked behind the scenes, I don't feel the need to rehash that publicly, and
Right.
not to protect me, but just to protect everybody involved from even creating an issue in general.
Staying on code.
Right. We all spoke behind the scenes. We cleared that up, whatever. That was what it was. But you are the only person that I can genuinely say, I did attack you. Came to you 10 tones down. Like, you know what? I should have never attacked you. You
And
didn't do
that's why I
nothing to me.
received that shit. And that's why I
Yeah,
received that
you
shit,
didn't even
because
do
that
nothing
shit
to
was
me.
so
Like,
naked. Like, the way you apologized was so fucking naked. And it was so like, you didn't blame Jives, you didn't blame Darryl, you didn't blame nobody. You stood 10 toes down like a real motherfucking woman should, like a real man should. And you took responsibility for where you felt you went wrong and for the behavior you engaged in. And that's still the realest apology that has come out of this whole 2-year shit. Like, we still living in this, we still, even in this situation, living in a situation where folk trying to find the blame. And I think when it comes to discerning right and wrong, the first place that people got to start with, if they want to figure out if there is an external villain, is first of all, you got to address
oh, well, hold
yourself.
on. Let me ask.
You got to address yourself in your own part first, and be blindly transparent with self and say, what did I do? What was, because see, a lot of what we do is we base we give ourselves immunity based upon our intent, right? Like, if I had good intentions, then it means I'm absolved of accountability. That's not that don't absolve you of accountability because you still made choices that led to realities. So regardless of what anybody's intention was, even the good intentions, like I had good intentions in this whole fucking thing. I was trying to keep all the shit completely at bay behind the scenes. Like I didn't even know what the fuck was going on with anybody. And yet I got dragged and stampeded over in this whole fucking shit. And I was brought into the shit. But guess what? Once I decided to be the person who was going to be super saver hoe, once I decided to be the person who was going to try to wrestle this thing and wrinkle this thing out between Larry and Jives, once I decided that I was going to not let motherfuckers just gang up on Larry, who was being reasonably fucking quiet, comparably speaking to everybody else who kept talking at high volumes all the time, like I made choices that got that deepened my involvement. And I first have to just accept that don't make me wrong, but I have to also accept those choices led to
Well, then Conscious. So
that are going on now.
So since we hear Conscious, so I just say forget it, because I'm okay. So I'm looking at the questions, and the questions are the same. So I would have thrown a disclaimer out there. Everybody can do what they want with it. Conscious, we gonna rehash the past. You can do what you want with it. You can keep it. You can throw it away.
Look, everybody else, look, it's already being rehashed.
Getting their whole points out. So listen, everybody getting their whole things out, right? And it's like, I feel like everybody just count on me to be the passive aggressive because I don't have a channel. I don't really get on. I don't really say much. I be chilling. I be quiet. I be cool. I be calm and I be collect. I rant. I would cuss you out in the background, cuss out Larry in the background, cuss out Jives in the background, whatever. You know, we all fight in the background and we come forward and whatever. But all right, we got 2 questions. I'm going to answer them. I'm just going to answer the questions. The person that the question is about, y'all can feel how y'all feel. Y'all can make videos. I really don't care at this point because I'm just tired of the narratives, and I'm just going to address a couple things. Again, this is not to... I'm not saying anything bad about anybody, and I have no ill will, and I can say, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, Conscious, I always accept your constructive criticism. It's how I look at it. Scorpio to Scorpio, that's constructive criticism. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like I've been the coolest, the most nonchalant, the most, when it comes down to it, I really don't have a bone with nobody. In all fairness, I don't have a bone with nobody. I don't have a bone with Jives. I don't have a bone with Miko. I don't have a bone. Only people I got bones with is on the other side of the fence. But on this side of the fence, I don't got a bone with nobody. Would you say that that's fair or unfair?
No, that's totally fair.
Okay. So everyone wants to know the beef with Miko because apparently I started the beef with Miko. Again, this is not to shade Miko, not to throw any disrespect to Miko. Personally, I say every time I talk to her, I had nothing but respect for you. Like, I get it.
Hold on, I'm gonna put her picture up so that everybody knows that this is her segment.
Yeah,
because I did put everybody's.
This isn't me bashing anybody. I say it to her all the time. I got no bad blood, but at the end of the day, the shit is what it is. You could call it what you want to call it, but I'm tired of the narrative and I'm tired of the shit being spun on me. At the end of the day, I went to Jives about my bill. The bill's still active. The bill's still going. I believe I've sent the bill to you, Conscious. The bill's going. Donowitz, he's stalling that shit. I need people to get on there and vote. I'll tell Conscious to drop it in the chat and y'all can look it up and go online and hit the yes, you support the bill. That would be excellent. Get the viewers in there. My little sponsorship real quick. But outside of that, I went to
shameless plug.
Jives said, you know, out his own mouth, Andrea did not come to me in ill will against Larry. I didn't. Me and Larry had our thing going on, but that wasn't what it was. Me and Jives had our own private conversations. Some of the conversations were released. That was what it was. Like, whatever. I'm not mad. He not mad. Nobody mad. Larry ain't mad. No one's mad about it. The whole thing with Miko, I get it. She was being the sister. She was being protective of Jive. She came in the chat. She was, who are you? Why are you here? me being me, I felt like, who are you? I didn't come to the Jives MsMikko show. I came to the Jive show. So I don't owe you any explanation. I don't have to answer your questions. And I have a right to say that, because if it was anybody else, you wouldn't be in the chat like, who is it? No, like, I'm allowed to go to whoever I want to go to. If they decide to deal with me, they decide to deal with me. If you don't like me, that's fine. But I shouldn't be 15 videos in about me. You're doxing me. You're making up stories about me. You're talking about me, and I haven't done anything yet. My child is being posted. I'm allowed to be offended. Like, I'm not no punk. You're not just gonna post my kid, keep talking about me, calling me the light-skinned friend, and then when I say, well, what, she don't like me because I'm light-skinned, then it's, oh, she's saying that I don't like. No, I was responding to what you said. And then I asked her on her own show. So again, I'm not upset with her, but it's like, I'm tired of the narrative being spun that I did something to this person. All I did was go to King Jive's show. I don't have to answer anyone's questions. I don't care what the commentators say, because the commentators aren't helping me. The commentators aren't spreading my story. The commentators aren't getting me through what I'm trying to get done. Period. They're just not. So the commentators love to keep it stirred up. The commentators love to do what they do, and that's fine, because that's what the commentators are supposed to do. But just because I don't feed into that doesn't mean that, like, I didn't post videos of Mikko. I didn't dox her. I didn't look her up. I didn't see where she lived. I didn't come up with stories about her.
So what do you think about,
hold
on, so let me ask you a question then. So let me ask you a question. So what do you make of her feeling that you and Kimberly were behind the scenes doxing and looking into her life?
So
and
the thing, I could understand from Mikko's perspective, as far as, at that time, was I cool with Kimberly? Was I cool with Darryl and them? Yes. But was I, if at that time, if you were to look back at those videos, mind you, I was supposed to be a moderator for YouTube for them. I was half-ass moderating, and I got the messages where they were literally calling me out and the shit, like, you're half-ass moderating. We were getting into arguments about it, and I have the messages between all of us where they were calling me out, like, oh, did Larry pay her to come over here and snoop on us? Like, this is how it all started over there, where I ended up getting stalked because they felt that I was like an inside job from you guys the whole time. So I could get it because I was over there, but I never once posted anything about Mikko. Like, you can't find a video where I posted on my personal page, or where I sat on a panel and I saw them post her child or post her house, or I wasn't into that. And the fact that I literally am being stalked by FUPA because I told Larry Reid and gave Larry Reid the evidence that he was being stalked, when I didn't have to do that. Me and Larry weren't even talking at that time. I didn't have to tell Larry shit, actually, because we weren't even cool. But when I seen that, and dude was like, oh, I know where his daughters go to school, I immediately called Larry. It wasn't even a question. I was like, yo, I know you ain't talking to me. And Larry talked about it on your show. I literally called Larry, like, I know you're talking, but bruh, he talking about he know where your kids go to school. Like, I got kids. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. So you know what I mean? Like, I don't do that whole doxing. And Conscious, you've seen my channels, you've seen my pages. We're Facebook friends. You ain't never seen me dox nobody. I don't even make videos. I don't. I never made videos about Mikko. I didn't do skits about her. I didn't talk about her kids. I don't actually know nothing about Mikko outside of what she put on her page. And personally, I tell her all the time, sis, I need some blowout videos. Conscious that I have Walmart bundles. I need help, okay? But, you know what I mean? I got nothing but respect for her. But it's like, also at the same time, though, you're not going to sit here and paint this story like I attacked you or I did something to you. Because in all fairness, the real tea is I didn't, bro. You were just upset and you felt that I came with an ulterior motive. And that's cool. You're allowed to feel that way. But that doesn't mean that you get to make videos about me and talk about me and come up with stories about me. Like, I just find it ironic that everyone's so upset that they're being doxxed, but they've all doxed somebody. That's the irony of it all to me.
Okay. Do you want to clarify all? Because I've never doxed a single soul in my life. Who doxed who? Like, who doxed? Hello? Because you know, you can at least say my name because you know damn well I ain't never doxed a damn soul.
All I'm saying
All I'm saying is CTV ain't never participated in a single bit of damn doxing because I don't personally give a damn where none of these motherfuckers live. I don't give a damn where none of these motherfuckers go to school at. I don't give a damn what type of liens they got. I don't give a damn what they ever did in their criminal history because God gave me a mouth and I can drag any of these motherfucking hoes from top to bottom, from the east to the damn west. So I don't got to resort to no damn doctrine because I got a mouth a weapon to mass destruction.
But that's what I'm trying to say. None of us never doxed anybody. Miko didn't dox me. Jives didn't, like, granted, Miko said some things about me and I was just like, why would you say that? But in all fairness, Miko didn't post my house. She didn't post my apartment. She wasn't, in all fairness, when she was made aware that that was my child in the video or the picture, she did take it down. You know what I mean? I'll give her that. Like, Miko wasn't bent out to dox me. Jives didn't dox you. Larry didn't dox Miko. Miko didn't dox Susan. You know what I mean? We wasn't doing none of that. We was just popping shit. That's one thing.
Well, hold on. Well, I'm gonna say in all fairness, I think it may be difficult. I mean, and maybe you don't even give a damn because on your end, like you're not really blaming anybody for anything. But I will say that no. But I just want to say, in terms of MsMikko, I mean, obviously at this point, it would be a matter of faith for her to just receive that, hey, you're saying you didn't dox me. You're saying that you didn't have your friends stalking me and calling my phone. I'm just going to have to take your word for it.
Well,
and
I was confused about. Now that you say that, Conscious, and maybe MsMikko can actually give clarity because she actually did say this before. And she has said that I called her and I had my friends calling her in the middle of the night. So my question was, because I've never actually had MsMikko number and I've never called MsMikko personally outside of recently when Jives coordinated me and her communicating. I've honestly, outside of that, never spoke to Miko. I don't even play games like that. And you know personally, Conscious, what I've been going through, and I feel talk to me enough to know if you feel that I would even be on that type of time. Like, I never did that to Miko. I'm a woman first. Like, I thought it was unfair that I was told my story was false, even though it really wasn't. And we all know it wasn't, but I never reciprocated that type of hate back. You know what I mean? In all fairness, I just never did that because certain things I know I'm painted as this person because fine, I may give off a sex appeal. Fine. To the church people, my skirt may be a little too high. I might have a slit. Fuck, I might have some stones. I might have a blunt with some whiskey. I don't know. But I don't fit to their mold, so I get it. But in all fairness, when it came to Miko has never stalked me. She never personally did anything to interfere in my personal life. She just popped shit online, and I'm okay with that. And I told you that. I'm okay with that. I actually like I like Miko.
Yeah, for sure. I want to speak to a few of these things. But the first thing I want to say, because I want to speak to Dream of 511's comment. The first thing I want to say is, for MsMikko, I can understand why it may be difficult for her to have to, like why it would be difficult for her to take your innocence as it relates to the things she thinks you did for what it was, because the trust was broken. And sometimes when people are clicked up and your friends or the people you beside is doing fuck shit, of course it's going to be difficult for me to believe that you weren't with the shit too, because those were your people. Like it's like any other clique, like any other group of motherfuckers you don't like, they don't like you, you don't like them, somebody in that crew start doing some fuck shit, you probably not going to believe that there's nobody who was there who didn't participate. Even if the truth is a motherfucker was only there observing what was happening, but didn't necessarily take action the way that other people in the group did. But because, and this is where we get the old saying that is guilty by association. The truth is a person can be innocent. A person can be innocent of the things people think they did, but because the association was so intimate with the people who was wrong, that unfortunately that person's innocence gets lost in translation because you was next to all the wrong motherfuckers. So it would then be a matter of faith if a person wanted to, like, you know, work that through themselves. Like if they just personally desired to say, you know what, she said she ain't doxed me, she said she didn't help Kimberly, she said these wasn't her friends, I'll take it for what it is. Like, or not take it for what it is. I also want to say, to your point, I can understand why you don't give a fuck, like why you're able to move past the issues with Jives and the issues with Mikko, because there was somebody in this situation who actually tried to physically disrupt your actual fucking life and disrupt the lives of your children and disrupt the lives of your fiance. And so from your perspective, this makes the drama with the other person in the basement, this, like, his drama supersede that. In contrast, makes everything else look like nothing. Like, I can see from your end, that's like, hey, we all talk, all we did was talk a bunch of shit about each other. Ain't nobody came for my fucking neck. This motherfucker came for my neck. So for me, like,
but that's
I can get past A, B, C, D, F, and G. So I get it.
We talked about this,
Huh?
Conscious. That's why I said that's what I'm saying. You and I talked about this. Like, I can empathize with MsMikko though, because like I said, I don't have no bad blood against Mikko. And in all fairness, I don't even really think Mikko got bad blood against me. Mikko just frustrated. And I get it. Mikko frustrated with how she feel towards me for how she feel. And that's okay. And I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. Larry's frustrated. Jives is
I'm
we're
not
all
fucking frustrated. Y'all all frustrated. I'm living my goddamn best life, and I ain't got no problems with everybody. I ain't even got no problems with the hoes who's trying to be a problem.
Don't none of us want to be up here conscious. Don't none of us want to be up here even talk about none of this. I said, don't none of us even want to be up here talking about none of this. Period.
Nah, I don't mind talking about it because it's content and my name in it, but I ain't. But I'm not. I don't have no stake in the race, really. It what the fuck it is for me.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that Mikko has any ill will towards me. I think Mikko is just, she's fed up like I was fed up. Like, I got stalked and now Mikko's being stalked. So I can empathize with Mikko because it happened to me. And, you know, we went through the whole process. So now Mikko's going through the process, and I empathize with her because I wish a cop would pull up to her house, because everybody going down to the courtroom, period. Well, sir, this is what happened to me. This is what happened to him. We pulling down for Mikko, period. Mikko could literally hit me today, and tomorrow, if Fupa showed up, I'm going to be riding coattails. What's up? Period.
Yeah,
that's it.
You
that's all.
don't have.
Mikko would do the same.
You don't have any, like, what's behind you for you is truly behind you. And like I was saying when the whole collapse happened, I said I probably talked to Andrea more than anybody else at this point in the group does. And literally, like, I can say for myself, Andrea, like, there is no bad blood. Like, and like, because the truth of 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 the truth is, yes, at one point in time when all this started, it was a bunch of whatever. But at the end of the day, there's only one person who stepped out their body. At the rest of it was fodder, comparatively speaking. There's only one person who made this thing something that didn't have to turn into a lawsuit, something that didn't have to turn into police reports, something that didn't have to return into restraining orders, something that didn't have to turn into protective orders. There's only one person in this situation, regardless of all of the dumb shit that happened in the beginning when everything was going on. And so for me, that's why it was also easy for me to, like, make up with King and let it go, because at the end of the day, like, I mean, that I put that shit, like, I put all the back and forth that we all did, I put that shit in like a human nature category. Like, naturally, People gonna disagree. Naturally, people not gonna always feel the same way, think the same way. People gonna get frustrated with each other. Motherfuckers gonna fall out. It is what the fuck it is. This ain't the first
You
time
want
I
to
had
know
to
something?
call a bitch.
When
Hold
it's
on, hold
all
on, hold on, hold on,
said
hold on,
and
hold on.
done,
This ain't the first time. This ain't the first time I had to call a bitch a bitch. This ain't the first time I had to call a hoe a hoe. This ain't the first time I had to call a nigga a nigga. I done fell out with friends. I done fell out with my lovers. I done fell out with family members. People fall the fuck out. That's not mind-blowing or the end of the world for me. Like, I'm fine with that, but that is definitely something different than a motherfucker trying to kill you, or a motherfucker trying to make you feel unsafe, or a motherfucker literally inciting some type of harm upon you, whether it's harm to your brand, harm to your business, or bring harm to your children, or somebody pulling up and crossing state lines. Like, I'm not going to even put that shit in the same category. I'm not going to put somebody who talked shit to me in the same category as a motherfucker who actually had the intention of bringing harm to me. That's a false equivalency. A false equivalency for me. For me, it is. Now, there are things that are more difficult for people to get past. Everybody's fucking different. But for me, I'm like, it ain't nothing but one motherfucker who stepped out their bag. And that is the basement dweller. So the basement dweller can get all this motherfucking work. I can forgive everybody else. And I think that MsMikko also doesn't have to like rush her forgiveness, because it's not like me and Larry forgave you overnight, or forgave Harlow overnight, or forgave Jives overnight. It took time for things to be wrestled through. So I respect MsMikko like undergoing her
exactly, and that's
process, her
100%.
journey
And that's
of
what I
moving
said.
through.
Exactly. That's why I said I don't even think that Mikko has ill will towards me at all. I think Mikko, because Mikko has said out of her own mouth, I have nothing against Andrea. I could teach Andrea, and I'm like, well, teach me, because I keep asking for these videos, girl. You know what I mean? Like, but I get it. You know what I mean? She has to go through what she has to go through, and that's fine. And that's why I don't respond. That's why I don't make videos. That's why I don't go all in, because at the end of the day, it's not about Mikko. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about Larry. It's about the fact that we got a whole terrorist running around in these YouTube streets, and Mikko is just the next object of this person's attention, because Mikko's been giving him that work. Period. She been running that ass. Period. With receipt after receipt after receipt. And so now he's trying to bully on her and stalk her, and it's like, yo, give it up. Like, just
I think
stop.
there might be something else to be said too about why you able to get it. I think it's because you also mean your apology. And when
Well, and
people
it's just
mean their
so.
apology, they remain understanding, no matter if the person is receptive or if the person is whatever. Even in you and MsMikko's exchange, you was like, look, I still stand by my apology. I still stand by my apology. I called you out your name. I blah, 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 blah. I still stand by it. Even this shit going left, I still stand by my apology. And when people really mean it, they can stand by it. When people really mean it, they can watch somebody be like, I don't fuck with her, or I still think she did what, da 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 da, and can still be like, you know what? I get it, because I still mean my apology. And if it takes her time to get there, or if she never get there, you still will mean your apology. And that's the way an apology should be ran up and experienced. Like, if you're sorry, you're motherfucking sorry. It would be nice if a person
Well,
can
that's the
receive an I'm
thing.
sorry,
People
but if
like.
they can't,
Exactly. It's like, listen, I did what I did. I've never been a person that hasn't been able to hold accountability for my faults. Like, listen, I grew up a lot different than average people. Actually, Mikko and I grew up very similar lifestyles, actually. So that's why I also have another respect for Mikko, because Miko and I grew up very similar, very, very similar. When I read her story the other day, when she posted her story in her own words and I saw it out of her own, fingertips to her paper, I said, oh, snap, we grew up very similar. So it gave me another more respect. I even commented on the page, like, yo, I got more respect for you now. Like, now I know who you are a little bit more. I have none against her, and I genuinely don't believe that she has anything against me. She just feel how she feel because who the hell don't at this point? You know what I mean? We all feel some type of way about how we feel about who we feel that way about. Period.
Yeah.
And we
Well,
all deal with each other for what we deal with each other for. And personally, I just wanted to say, like, for me personally, I have no smoke with nobody on this side. If people upset, like, yo, I got mad love for you. I'm still going. If Fupa come, we all coming. Period. The Avengers is coming.
well, let me
But
ask you this question. I want to ask you this question because I know you gotta go. You got a family and everything to get to. How, as somebody who was like on the inside and saw how dark all that shit got, so dark that it caused you to like separate yourself from the situation. What does this make you think about Kimberly and Marcellus and how they can seemingly ignore the
they're scary.
predatory behavior of Fupa, how they can
They're scary to me,
justify this
Conscious.
man's behavior.
They're scary to me. Do you want to know? Okay, so like, all right, I'm gonna break it down for you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Larry kind of knows it better because I was constantly communicating with Larry at that time. And
Mm-hmm.
even though he and I weren't getting along, Larry and I still were actually communicating. We just weren't getting along. And that happens. I mean, people fall out, people get into arguments. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. People still sometimes communicate. We were still communicating sparsely, whatever. But what happened was it got scary because you look at Marcellus, right? You see Marcellus, he comes on Larry's show. The whole thing goes down when Marcellus gets butthurt because Larry told him basically, this is my show, get your own show. He wasn't wrong. He was just saying, like, yo, this is my show. Don't tell me what to do on my show. Go get your own show, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Marcellus took it, he bit it, and he just ate that shit hard. Like, he just went left, right? But on just looking at Marcellus, he comes across as this articulate, well-to-do person. He would be an upstanding person. Then you get Kimberly. She's the soft-spoken girl. She, works at a college. She's a history teacher. You don't think anything bad of her. You know what I mean? Like, why would you? These is like squares. They don't do anything wrong. They follow the book, only to find out on the dark web of the dark web, they're doxing people and stalking people. When literally everything had happened. We had the phone call with Larry or whatever. You guys released that shit in the middle of the night. That morning, Darryl sent me a file from Dewey. I think it was Dewey and them. Sent me a file from them. I opened it, sent it to Larry because I was like, I don't want no parts. He was like, I know where Larry's kids go to school or something. And I was like, well, why do you want to know that? And he was like, I know everything. And I was like, all right, like, this is crazy. And the crazy thing about it, Conscious, is I went to Kimberly, dead ass. I went to Kimberly and I was like, yo, Kimberly, I think like he's stalking Larry, and I feel like he's going too far with it. Like, I feel like we should have a conversation. Instead of Kimberly hearing what I said, Kimberly ran to Darryl and told Darryl what I said, and they basically kicked me out of every group chat, kicked me out of everything, and then I started getting stalked, and there was video after video after video after video after me, and then the stalking occurred. But to me, it was weird because I'm like looking at Kimberly like, you're a woman. And he's literally talking about he knows where another man's kids go to school. Why does he need to know where his kids go to school?
Mm.
Like, the
Wow.
moment I seen that, and when I seen the file, and Conscious, what was in the file. So when I seen the file, I'm like, what? And when I sent it to Larry, and I'm like, Larry, look at this. And Larry was like, I'm getting this to my lawyer. Stop, because why does he even have this? But we found out who it came from because we just looked at the chain. But that's when it all started. But to me, it was weird for her because I'm like, literally, you're a woman and you're a teacher. So you are supposed to protect children. And this heifer had the audacity to assist in calling CPS on me, saying that I was abusing my kids and stuff. Like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? You don't even know me to be talking about I'm doing anything to my children. And you're calling CPS on me and literally posting links and telling all of YouTube to report me and my children to CPS. You're messing with my household. Like, how dare you? But Kimberly assisted in this personally. She posted links. Said I had a 19-year-old kid. I said, a 19-year-old kid? That means I was, what, 9 when I had a baby? Well, who got arrested? I have questions. But this
Don't
is
you
the
think that
stuff
is
that
so?
Kimberly assisted in.
I'm gonna tell you why I look at Marcellulite as more wicked and more demonic and more satanic than I even look at Fupa, is because Fupa does his fair share of being in denial of his character, but he also at least have pockets of like brutal honesty that he's just with all the shits. What's interesting about Marcellulite is that he can get on Fupa's platform and say, I never doxed, I never put pictures of Miko's whatever up, I never called her job, but to be completely committed to helping to build a platform for a man who does everything he claims is nowhere within his own character, who can help participate in building and also be actively on the platform of somebody he's claiming has no traits or behaviors that are familiar or similar to his own, and hold that proclamation strongly. And I find that to be true sickness. That is literally like that's literally what denial is.
Well,
Oh
that's the
well,
irony of it because
I didn't pull the trigger, but I brought the
but
gun.
you
I
said this
gave
yesterday,
I brought the
Conscious.
gun. I gave him the gun. I saw him shoot the gun. I was next to him when he pulled the trigger, but
Okay, it's
I
the
didn't
irony
pull
of it all. He's literally talking about Miko said that she would do this to his kids and do that to his kids, right? He's ranting about this in the kid, and I can't believe she would say this. Nigga, you called CPS on me. You was literally raising funds on your channel for my kids without consent. Like, are you serious? Like what are you doing? You're literally threatening my son and my daughter. You're sending notices to our families. Like, everything that you said that these people were doing, you've done it 10 times over. Marcellus and Kimberly assisting. And you motherfuckers got the audacity to be mad if someone decides to make a video about you and your family. You guys have literally, they're like, oh, Miko's calling jobs and stuff. How many jobs and places did you guys call? Oh, Darryl, oh, I got Andrea in the Washington Post. All you got to do is Google Andrea Garrison and look under the news. Washington Post does not pull up. And the Cincinnati Enquirer did not come from Darryl. That
right.
came from Victor. Christian Post came from the Christian Post reaching out. The Euro Girl came from the Euro Girl. Rio came from the Cincinnati Enquirer. Where was the Washington? It's not there because it doesn't exist. So with that being said, people have the audacity to be mad about stuff, but it's like you real life playing with people. And it's like, I don't want to say too much, but it's like, yo, you need to chill out. You can't just keep come to New York. Go to North Carolina. Go to Atlanta when people really in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Show up with the cops since we all going to jail. Bring the cops personally since we all going to jail. But just call you a paralegal. Bring the cops. Just bring them with you. Have a police
Mm.
escort. You know what I mean? Because it's just like at this point, you're old enough to be my fucking grandfather, and you're stalking us. Leave us alone. What grown man puts a woman's face on a t-shirt and then sells it? And then denies selling it after selling it publicly online. It's like my whole thing is it's like trying to fight a crackhead. You can't fight. He's like a crackhead. You can't beat a crackhead. You just can't. He's a crackhead.
You're right.
You can't. It's like going in circles with a crackhead. Literally, it's like someone, literally a whole heroin addict, just coming up to you, keep asking you for heroin. Miko said it perfectly when she had the Elmo. I was weak because it's so serious. Like, you can't argue logic. It's like having chaos and order. You can't have chaos and order at the same time. It's either chaos or it's order. Pick a struggle. And that's what it is with him. It's like literally us trying to fight crackheads. We're just gonna keep going in a circle. And a crackhead gonna beat our ass every time, and because they believe their lies. You get what I mean? We're gonna fight that ass in court and you're gonna lose. But the whole point is he's gonna keep coming because he's like a crackhead.
Right.
Crackheads, they don't stop. We have lives. Crackheads don't.
I have used the term reprobate consistently in describing these individuals. They don't have a conscience. They are incapable of repentance. They are incapable of restoration. They are locked into their density. They're locked into their trauma. They're locked into their bullshit. They're locked in loaded. They could even get out if they wanted. Like, reprobate, just another incarnation. You'll have a do-over.
It's like everything he says is a lie. It's like, okay, we all been going to jail. Conscious, you're a parking lot thought. I'm a deadbeat. I mean, like, literally, this is the narrative. You're a parking lot thought. You're a whore. You've been prostituted by Larry Reid and George Bloomer. I've been prostituted by Larry Reid and George Bloomer. I'm a harlot. I'm a prostitute. I'm a Jezebel. I'm a deadbeat mom. I'm all this. Miko's a 10 times felon. Jives is a 10 times felon. Larry is a felon/P-file. This is the narrative. We all been going to jail for the last 17 years. Nobody's been arrested. No one's went to jail. Victor Cousins was suing me and the Christian Post. That's yet to happen. He in high school now. You know what I mean? It's like where does it stop?
He's mad because there's only one. Because they are mad because there's only one group that has a case, and it's the A-Team and Darryl. They are in this lawsuit together. And they're upset about it. They're so mad that they're the only group that has a case. They got a case. Y'all done caught a case. It is what it is. Y'all can't be mad. Y'all can't be mad.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't say Conscious did nothing. Conscious ain't stalked nobody. Miko ain't stalked nobody. Jives damn sure ain't stalked nobody. I damn sure ain't stalked nobody. Larry damn sure. We ain't none of us stalked nobody. We didn't commit no felonies. We didn't commit no crimes against nobody. We didn't hold up guns and wave them online and be threatening. We didn't do nothing but just give keys and commentary and fight for our rights. That's all we did. But what have you done? You've committed crime after crime after crime, and then you're dumb enough to actually document it. It's like, we fight crackheads at this point. All you could do is laugh at it and just wait for it to play out in court at this point. And
you out of all people know how unbothered I am in real life by all of this. I always treated them like crackheads. I always treated them like reprobate. I always that's why I literally see them this way. Like, they're literal jokes to me. I don't take those folks seriously. Like, I don't. I mean, it's an interesting case study. It makes for interesting dialogue. There are things there are meaningful conversations that can be produced out of what's happening, but on a personal level, like, there's no impact. It is what it is. I'm glad that you took the time to come up here.
There's no real impact.
I am going to be in Atlanta with Larry on the 8th for this conference. I'm going to be live streaming it. So we're going to have a big old kiki over this whole thing. And me and you are also working on some things that we're keeping under wraps right now that should be hitting the airwaves very soon. I appreciate everything that you had to say here. I think that this situation involving everybody, not the people on the other side, but just like in terms of the Avengers here, there's some issues, but I honestly feel like so much has happened and so much more has happened since what initially happened that I I I think it's more practical for us to decide what should be water under the bridge at this point, because there's there has to be more of an interest in forgiveness more than an interest in trying to be right. And sometimes trying to be right prohibits forgiveness, which can encourage forward moving. There's still some tensions and issues, but I know for sure, because I'm a spiritualist and I do this work in people's lives, I do it in my own life. I know that we're never going to really get away from this with trying to point out who's right and wrong. We're just going to have to take the olive branches where we can get them and move forward toward the actual substance of the scenario. And if there's somebody out here who is trying to destroy businesses and trying to intrude people's lives, then that's for certainly going to take up a big priority. Like, I'm good on everybody. I care for everybody. I light a candle for everybody. And I hope that everybody in the situation gets the justice that they're seeking, if justice is even what anybody is seeking. Like, I hope that everybody gets what they need out of all of this. Emotionally, physically, socially, financially, whatever needs to come out of it for everybody. I hope that everybody gets that. Right.
No, I
Are you still
agree.
there?
I'm on the same page. I don't have any bad will towards anybody. I don't have any bad blood. I get tired of narrative being spun about me. I get tired of, I'm cool with the whole people can say what they want about me. It's like I don't really care for real. People talking about me, that's nothing. Like my life, that's nothing. You can talk about me till you blue in the face because I talking about me ain't shit compared to what I've been through in my life. But
Yeah.
I
It's
just get
hard.
tired of though like
It's hard.
I just don't like when it starts interfering with my personal life. When you
Oh,
hashtagging my name on social
yeah,
media,
for
when
sure.
you know what I mean, like when you're doing things like that, like you're interfering in my personal life because I'm not doing that to you. And it's like part of my life is social media, and yeah, it may not be YouTube, but it still pops up. You know what I mean? My social media is on other platforms, but I just don't appreciate it because I don't do it to other people. And it's like if you want to say what you want to say about me, that's fine, but don't try to interfere with my coin because I don't do it to you. Don't try to interfere in my personal life. You don't have to talk about my kids, my fiance. People be quick. Oh, let's talk about Danny. Why you talking about Danny? Danny ain't this shit to nobody. Danny cool as fuck. Like, why you
Because
gotta bother
you know why?
him?
You know why he gonna talk about Danny? He gonna talk about Danny because Danny got something that he want. You.
Well, no, but that be everybody though, because it wasn't just Danny. Well, not everybody, but it wasn't just Fupa that mentioned him. Somebody else mentioned him too, and it was just like
Oh, you talking about the commenters and
leave my
stuff?
leave, no, one of the other
Oh.
vloggers mentioned them. I'ma just leave it at that. But my
Oh.
whole thing is like, you know what I mean? Like, just why you gotta mess with my people? You know what I mean? Like they ain't bothering nobody, but that's that stalker stuff because that's what Fupa do. You know, he mess with everybody, and then when you retaliate and you decide to mess with his
The
people back,
devil
then they
comes
want
to
to
steal,
all
kill,
the
and
messing with
destroy.
my family. It's like, well, what did you do to my 90-year-old mother-in-law? Like, how dare you stalk her and post her house online? Like, how you threaten a 90-year-old woman, but talking about you respect and honor your parents? Like, I got questions, Fupa. You literally stalks my 90-something-year-old mother-in-law, but got the audacity to be talking about you honor your mom, and you don't understand how someone can mess with your kids. And, you know what I mean? But this is the stuff that these sick-minded people do, and just people in general. When people don't have what you have, or people envy what you have, they want to attack other areas of your life. And to me, it's
Of
just
course.
corny. It's like, your beef with me. Keep your beef with me. Keep my kids out of it. What my kids got to do with anything?
What
What my fiance got to do with anything? What my
Exactly.
mama got to? My mama dead. What the fuck you talk
Exactly.
about my mom for? My father. What you talk about my dad for? Like, these people ain't got shit to do with me. These people don't even fucking know you, weirdos. You contacting my family about me, you're weird. Like, you think my family's gonna be like, oh, like, you're weird. Like, but then you're mad if somehow one of your
Demons. They're
kids is, oh, you
demons.
my kid.
But you touched on it
Huh?
perfectly. You touched on it perfectly. When people cannot get to the heart of you, then they try to disrupt other parts of you or things around you. Like, when you call me a parking lot thought, you're still talking about a bad bitch. When you're calling me a parking lot thought, you're still talking about a YouTuber with 22 subscribers to your 3,500. When you call me a parking lot thought, you're talking about somebody who's getting his ass ate tonight by his nigga. When you call me a parking lot thought, you're still talking about a nigga who's wearing your most expensive bill as his weave for the day. Like, these things, like, whatever you say does not change what you're ultimately irritated by and feel inferior to. That's why you got to keep saying it, because you got to keep convincing yourself that you're not inferior. But until you deal with the actual insecurity, you're always going to feel inferior. So when people are saying, why is Fupa a repeat offender? Why is he like a broken record? He's literally been saying the same shit for two, because he gotta keep saying the same shit to convince himself that he's not insecure. He gotta keep dragging Miko. He gotta keep talking about King Jives. He gotta keep talking about Larry. He gotta keep talking about Andrea. He
But
gotta
it's
keep talking about
weird. It's like you're
TV
an old
because
ass man trying to drag some young ass people. Like, bruh, I'm fucking 31 years old and you trying to drag me. You could be my goddamn granddaddy. What is wrong with you?
he's because he's
That man
sick.
went so
He's
far as conscious. That man went so far as to telling my fiance she had a hysterectomy, and then went on on the other day on this channel, went on there and said I had something, and I was like, well, hold on. But say if I had it, right? How would you know though? Were you
he
around? Were you
knows
there
he
when this
knows
happened? Were you
everything.
sitting there at the doctor's office when it popped off? Because I
He
have valid
is
questions. And
he
as a
is
man,
so
how do
obsessed.
you get off talking about my
He
reproductive organs?
because he's upset. He's obsessed. He knows he's an expert on all things everybody else, but yet he didn't know enough about his own damn self to not
But
end up
that's the point.
sued.
It's just the obscenity of him.
You
Like,
didn't
how
even know
dare
enough
you?
to
How,
not be
as a grown
sued.
conscious, which straight man you know, conscious, which straight man you know, conscious, gonna get on somebody's platform for a woman that he don't know from Adam and Eve and talk about some she got a hysterectomy? How would you know that? Like, literally, if it were to
He,
even be a thing, how would you know?
child, he because
Did you talk to the doctor? Like,
he's working with demon
I
child.
got
But
questions.
I was just talking about
It's
this in my
the
Jimmy Battles
city
video.
of the
I was just talking about
tradition.
this in my Jimmy Battles video. Like, it's satire news. It's false narratives. He's tanked his own channel, but he ain't got nothing left now. Like, now he got to commit to just making his platform about salaciousness, because he's tanked all his credibility. He's tanked, like,
Anything. He
we
can say anything.
look. It is what it is. Like, I mean, that's why I have
They
to.
just say,
That's
but that's just to go to show they anything. Anything, Jesus. So they just say whatever come to their mind out there. Conscious got on pink panties.
And
That's what
maybe I
they'll
do. I
say.
mean, I don't mind pink panties, and my man don't mind them either.
But you give it at me, but that's what they will do. It's just like, damn, it'll be like Larry flew a kite today. And it's like, but did Larry even fly a kite? And how do you know?
He know more about Larry than he knows about his own fucking
History.
son.
He know more about Larry than I know about American
He
history.
knows
Shit.
more
He know
about
more about
Larry
Larry than I
than
know about my
he
kids.
knows more about Larry than he even do Marcellia. Like how you didn't know that your boy got all type of fucking termination suits going on with
Ooh,
Amazon? How you didn't know,
ooh.
girl, that he lives in fucking
And they can't
Crenshaw?
even
How you
break
didn't
up right
know,
now. They
girl?
forced to stay together. They forced to stay together. They gotta stay together. If they fall apart now, the whole operation is blown. That's the funny part of it. You know they over there all hating each other, like, but they can't separate because if they do, we win. Period. I just want
Well,
to know, are they all going to be at court September 8th?
but they all can't separate because they all are the same person. One is just a fat bitch. The other one is just a short ass
They all
bald
under
headed bitch.
Marcellus.
And the other one is just a tall ass bald head bitch. Like they're all the same bitch. It's the same bitch in different forms, but the same bitch nonetheless. It's just
I just don't
occupying a different
understand how
body,
women
the same
sit on a
bitch.
panel. How do women sit on a panel? Women who are educators and this is my thing. These are women and people. Okay, this is what blows me. This particular team claims to be, and I'm gonna end it here. This is who we dealing with. We dealing with an educator. We're dealing with a quote unquote
We're
police
not.
officer, which means she's supposed to enforce the law. We're dealing with a quote unquote paralegal who is supposed to help with the enforcing the law. We're dealing with a financial advisor as well as someone who owns or helps nonprofits. He's a business owner. All these great things, right? These are supposed to be the people that we're supposed to look up to in society by their own merit and what they say. But then yet you're stalking, you're harassing, you're menacing by stalking. By definition, you are causing terror, you are causing strife, you're causing stress, and you're our role models. Like, I have questions right now. You guys are supposed to be the role models, and we're supposed to look up to you guys, and you guys literally are the bullied who turned into the bullies. You guys were bullies, and you guys
Ain't
are literally
nobody looking
colonized
up to
now.
ain't nobody looked up to these big ass hoes a day in their life, but to physically look up, they physically looked up
Exactly.
to them. They physically
But
looked
what
up
I'm
to these
saying
big
is,
ass
by their
motherfuckers.
own merit, they claim that we should look up to them. Is what I'm saying. They
No,
say
it's no
because of who they
should.
are
It's
and
no
what they
should.
do,
Ain't there bitch.
and it's
Ain't
like
there one of the mother. Ain't there one of the motherfuckers got a goddamn thing for a motherfucker to be looking up to. How is
that's the whole
one bitch?
point. It's you guys
One
claiming
bitch is
to
not
be
even
people, but
one
wait, but what's
motherfucker.
going
One
on?
the female of the group is not even physically in good fucking health. You're not even taking care of your fucking health. The fucking ringleader is fucking bipolar, divorced, and drinking and smoking with his son in the fucking basement in the middle of a fucking lawsuit, living in some other man's house. The other nigga is some Crenshaw ass wannabe educated ass fucking weirdo who's trying to swindle money out of fucking Amazon. Like there's nothing to fucking look up
Yup.
to. And if everybody on this side of the tracks got their shit together, like the what the fuck is somebody going? I can't even. I'm appalled at just the idea of somebody needing to look up to what these motherfuckers are losers.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to aspire to how these people
Exactly.
look physically. Nobody wants to
That's
aspire
the
to their
whole point.
lifestyles. Nobody wants to
That's the
aspire
whole
to.
point.
They don't have platforms. They don't have reach. They don't have influence. They don't got style. They don't have accomplishments. They don't have intellect. They don't got spirituality. They don't got talent. There's nothing
They
to
don't even
fucking
have
look
inner
up to. There's nothing
peace.
there.
They are bitter.
Look up
They're
to
bitter
what?
and hateful, and they literally are kids who were You want to know the irony for me, conscious on some real? You want to know the irony? You know how, like, on some G, you've heard all of them, like, when they talk about me, like, over on that side, they'll be like, oh, she was a foster kid and she was a reject and no one wanted her. And it's like, okay, cool. You know what? You're right. I was a foster kid. I was a reject. I did go through listen, the devil was on my heels from the moment I was in my mama's womb. When I came out, I hit the ground running, period. But my life speaks for itself. I live a beautiful life and I'm okay with my life. But yes, the devil was on my heels from the moment I was in my mom's womb. I was a reject. I was this, I was that. But you know what? I got more love in me than a little bit, period. Didn't nothing that
Period.
happened to me turn me bitter, make me hateful, turn me into the scornful
Amen.
person that's just hardened and just can't. That's my testimony. You motherfuckers on that side, though, you niggas was rejects just like me. Only difference was you guys let that shit turn y'all bitter and let y'all turn into hateful people. Y'all don't know how to love. Y'all don't know how to be loved. Y'all don't know none of that. And I feel sorry for you guys. And I'm never gonna get up here and drag y'all because I dead ass feel sorry for you people. Like, you people are literally, I went through 10 times more than probably all of y'all combined on that side. And God let me still receive love, give love, learn, and let me accept accountability, and let me handle shit on my own. I'm still in my right mind. I don't look like what I've been through. Listen, we could throw testimonies because I was that reject, but God
From
held
test to
me down,
testimony, honey.
period.
Amen. It ain't about the cards that you dealt. It's about how the fuck you play them in life. Like, and motherfuckers need to get that through their head. Like, motherfuckers are reduced themselves to the hand given to them. The hand given to you is for your ass to play. God made everybody's deck of cards. Like, everybody's deck of cards conclude to the same victory. But you just got to play your fucking hand to get to the fucking victory. You just got to play your hand. Every arrangement of the deck is destined for victory. It doesn't matter what your deck is. Every deck has victory embedded in it. You just got to play your motherfucking hand. People just got to play their fucking hand. And you are...
They're literally rejects that wouldn't Columbine. And it was like, I was a reject too. I was a whole reject. I ain't gonna hold you. I was a reject from the womb. But I can love and be loved.
And now you made it in doing the motherfucking rejecting. How about it? And now you get to do the rejecting.
I'm here for the shit. Listen.
Look.
And it's just sad though, looking at them. It's like, yo, you guys are hateful, spiteful people. Miko's a beautiful soul. At the end of the day, she got her shit just like I got my shit, just like Jives got his shit, just like you got your shit and Larry got his shit.
Perfect.
But at the end of the day, I got nothing but love for everybody on this side of the spectrum because y'all all got y'all shit, but y'all all come real. Period.
Same here.
Them niggas over there though, that's just weird. Like, you guys are weird to sit. Why do you have that much time on your hands? Why?
They can figure it out, girl. You know, we got an audience, and they're gonna have to keep watching. Like, it ain't gonna be over till God say it's over.
We
ain't
got that much time though. You ain't got time to be doxing Darryl to find out where he live, how he live, what color draws he
I mean,
I got all that.
I got the time, but I just ain't gonna give it to him for what? For what? Like, for what?
Cause woo, baby.
Like, for
you don't like
what?
Me? Why you so invested? Because you don't like a motherfucker. If I don't like you, I don't want to look at you and see you and know about your life. I don't like you.
Them hoes can enjoy it.
What you tell
they can enjoy it.
They do like you though.
We all know that all these focus fans, they all started off as fans, all of us, child. So we already know that these are just disgruntled employees, honey, as Larry like to call them. Disgruntled employees. Employees nonetheless, just disgruntled, okay? They got to do their fucking job, okay? Free full promotion is what they got to do. So I'm with it. Is there anything else that you wanted to say before we part? We're gonna do almost 2 hours, and I got to go. Hello.
Have a good night. Be safe. I hope everyone enjoys their night. Hopefully none of this goes south, goes crazy. I got nothing but love, respect for everybody. In recap, Miko, you're a great person. I feel where you coming from. I just don't agree. We don't see eye to eye, and that's cool. But I'm still riding with you if it come down to the shits. Fupa, seek help. Conscious, I love you. Thank you for being amazing.
I love you.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I'm gonna text you.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Bye, everybody.
There it is, Andrea, y'all. This was a riveting conversation, child. I stand by everything that I said here. It's been a lot going on. It's been a lot, honey. It got crazy at times, but I ain't got no beef with nobody. I'm motherfucking vegan. I don't live on stress. I don't live on low vibrating as emotions. That's why I stay blessed. That's why I stay manifesting. That's why I stay co-creating, because I live my goodness. Okay, I let God be good to me, and I enjoy being good too. Okay, there's definitely negative and positive in the situation. Like, there are negative people in the situation, there are positive people in the situation. But the way toward healing is going to have to be, like I said in the beginning, accountability. Everybody is going to have to take their share of accountability. Do I have to cover this lawsuit? No, I don't. But I'm making a choice. That choice is going to create and lead to certain realities and manifestations. It's going to be what it is. That's a part of being a motherfucking bit boy, is understanding that for every action, there's a reaction, whatever the action is, whatever the intention of the action is. Intention don't have shit to do ultimately with effect. You can intend not to have put your hand down on the goddamn stove, and nonetheless, the stove is going to forgive you. I mean, the stove is going to burn you. The eye on the stove ain't going to not burn you because you didn't intend to be burned, or you didn't intend to sit your hand down there. God created reality to be reactionary. The spiritual laws make things reactionary. There's always going to be a reaction for every fucking action. Okay? When I decided to stand up to myself and not let a bitch talk shit, guess what? If them hoes talk shit back, even though I got a right and I'm the so-called responder in the situation, I'm still engaging, because that action creates the effect of another response. It is what the fuck it is. What mature people do is just take ownership for their actions. They take ownership for their behavior. I don't need a bad guy. I don't need a good guy in my situation. If I want to talk shit to a bitch and get some shit popping, it's going to get motherfucking popping. For me, if I feel the need to defend myself, I'm going to defend myself. And and I never see myself as the fucking victim in nothing, because I'm going to handle mines and do handle mines. Bitch, you fucking with me, I'm fucking with you back. That's what the fuck it comes down to. And when I'm ready for you not to be on my radar, I know how to go on about my business. And when I feel like revisiting some shit, I will fucking revisit it. It will be what the fuck it is. King Jives, he made a choice to link up with Fupa. When he fell out with me, when he fell out with Larry, he aligned himself with people. He helped to give Fupa a following. He shared his platform with Fupa. Jives got to own that. You help create the monster. If MsMikko is being doxxed and MsMikko is being stalked by Fupa, it ain't because of Andrea. It ain't because of Kimberly. It's because of Darryl. And her caping for her brother put her in the line of fire to be attacked, because she was being a guardian. And guardian take blows, because that's what happens to a shield. That's what happens to a bulletproof vest. It takes the blows on behalf of who is protecting. When I decided to get involved and cape for my friend, and I tried to keep two friends from coming ahead, I tried to keep Jives from bringing shit to the public, I was trying to keep shit down in the background, okay? Me and Jives fell out. That I have to cape for my friend? No. But that I have to get involved? No. But I was doing what I believe a good friend does. And there was going to be positives and negatives of every motherfucking action taken, regardless of what the intention is. Most people have good intention. Good intention ain't never kept shit from going kaboom. So it's not about the good intention. It's about just being clear about why you doing what you doing. And the rest is what the fuck it is. Whether it go left, whether it go right. And it's about being able to take ownership of that. And starting with self. And if everybody would do that, if everybody in the world, if everybody in any debauchery, if everybody would always take time to first really be clear about self, honestly, it would never even get to the point of nobody needing any closure and nobody needing to say sorry to anybody. Because the truth is, we're all making choices that either get us in the way or get us out of the way, irregardless of what the intention is. So when me and Josh first fell out and motherfuckers was running their fucking mouth over at Jive Nation and talking about, oh, CTV is siding with Larry, bitch, you don't know shit about the role that CTV played, bitch. You don't know shit about what stress I was taking on, okay? Trying to keep this from becoming what y'all now are complaining it's become, which is a public debauchery. Guess what? CTV didn't want public debauchery either. Okay? CTV did not choose a person, but I did choose a side. I chose the side of right in the situation. I knew all this shit would hit the fan. I knew that if King Josh ever went live and talked about his grievances with Larry, of course it was going to become a shit show. How could it not? There was already tension there. There was already people on both sides of the platform trying to already pit these two bloggers together. Of course, if one came out about the other, it was going to, of course, set shit off. I mean, it is what it is. But Josh had to make his own choice. Larry had to make his own choice. CTV had to make his own choice. All I know is that my choice was to get involved with the intention of the situation not getting worse. And me and my friend fell out, which is perfectly fine. Because he and I were not at a level in our relationship at that point where he could take me disagreeing and we still be fine. Because in my more mature friendships, we disagree all the time and we're fine. Me and Larry disagree all the time and we're fine. I cuss Larry out all the time and we're fine. Larry has to hang up on me all the time and we're fine. This is the nature of mature relationships. You disagree and you're fine. So when I was honest with my friend about the way I think things should go, okay? I did not know at that time it would cost me my friendship. But I also was at peace with it costing me the friendship because I'm always going to be this type of friend. And I accept that there are going to be people who are going to appreciate that and people who can handle that and people who can't. I'm not going to switch up who the fuck I am, regardless of what the L's are. That's why I always say on this platform, I'm willing to die on my heel. I came into this fucking earth to die on my heel and to testify to the fucking truth, okay? So whatever comes about, if it's the fucking apocalypse, so fucking be it. It is what the fuck it is. Because there's no other place to stand but on the side of principle. Principle. You can be wrong and not necessarily be the villain. But the reason why most people go to the extreme of feeling vilified because you feel they are wrong is because they've been in proximity and relationship to other people who have not caught out their wrongness, but made them the villain instead. And so when you get into proximity of a healthy person who can distinguish you being wrong, you wrong in this situation, but that does not conclude as you're a fucked up person, or you a bad person, or you the author of chaos. But you do get to fucking be wrong, and you're fucking wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're not the bad guy, but you're motherfucking wrong. What's going to define you as the bad guy is whether you humbly submit or acknowledge the error of one's ways. It's not being in the wrong that defines us as wrong. It's the way, it's what choice we make once we become aware that we're operating outside of virtue, operating outside of principle. Are you going to yield to your ego and commit just because you want to look like that bitch, or you want to look like that nigga? Or are you going to do the mature thing and change your mind? Are you going to do the mature thing and make it right? We all got choices. We all going to be right sometime. We all going to be fucking wrong sometime. And that's why in the earlier part of the conversation, everybody need to be forgiven in the situation. If you were on Fupa's side at one point in time, you participated in church, you participated in doxing, you participated in whatever the fuck you participated in. But you made a U-turn at whatever point, I'm going to forgive you. Because no man is above forgiveness. So I'm going to receive Andrea's apology. I'm going to receive Harlow's apology. I'm going to receive Prissy Poodle's apology, because we're all fucking humans. And people get to be wrong. And if people get to be wrong, guess what else? They get the right to be. They get to be right too. You gotta let a motherfucker make it right. You gotta let a motherfucker be right, especially if they can acknowledge that they've been wrong. Okay? Fupa made choices. He got himself involved in talking about people. He got himself involved in doxing people. He got himself involved. Him and Marcel, you like, and let me see your neck. You got yourself involved. So if you lost jobs, that was fair game. If you're being sued, fair game. If you're being doxed in return, if your private life is being pried into, fair fucking game. Accept responsibility for your behavior. You will never be the victim, especially as the initiator. And an initiator on top of that who has not turned from their ways. So however somebody goes to war with you is fair fucking game. Right, T. Trisha, return on investment, or hell, return to fucking sender. Return to sender, bitch. Just frisbeeing your motherfucking shit right on back to you. Who gives a fuck if somebody doxed you, Fupa? At this point, it's justifiable doxing. You literally will never, you can never be the victim in this situation. However you get dealt with, bitch, however somebody swing on your ass is how your ass gets swung on. How your churn gets swung on is how your churn gets swung on. How your life gets swung on, because when you fuck with people, they get to make whatever choices they need to make. And some folk gonna walk away, and somebody gonna get with your ass, and somebody gonna get even with your ass, and someone gonna get just a bit more than even. They gonna get the best of your motherfucking ass. So just be a big girl and a big boy and accept responsibility. I got myself involved in this ass whipping. I'm catching a motherfucking ass whipping. I can't blame Larry. I can't blame Jives. I can't blame Consciouztv. I can't blame Larry calling me an insignificant blogger when I'm out here talking shit about him, and now I'm justifying my bullying behavior because he gives me a response to my bullying behavior. It's like, sit the fuck down. Move around, bitch. Move the fuck around. So until everybody want to take fucking responsibility, it's gonna be what the fuck it's gonna be. I ain't bound by what near motherfucker think in this situation. I'm free. I'm happy. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna give a fuck. I'm gonna carry out this situation. I'm gonna report on this motherfucking case. Everybody else's trials are not my motherfucking trials. I'm not taking on no low vibrating ass emotions with none of this shit. I didn't from the jump. I'm damn sure not going to now, especially when my life is even better now than it was fucking last year. You know, so everybody can do what the fuck they need to do to find their peace. Personally, I'm always work from the inside out for mine. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. So, like I said, in terms of everybody on this side of the mount, I don't give a fuck what happened to them hoes over there. But everybody on this side, I hope that everybody who got caught up into all this, because Miss Miko got caught up in this for all the right reasons. She got caught up in this because she loved somebody. And she got hit with a bunch of arrows as a result. I got caught up in this because I loved somebody. I got hit with a bunch of fucking arrows. Okay? When you love people, hey, it's going to be what it's going to be. And guess what? Even though all this has happened, I do not regret none of it. If I could do it all over again, if we could rewind time, bitch, I would crank that motherfucker all the way back to 2019 when King and Andrea called me, and I would do it all the exact same motherfucking way. Because the principles that I lived by then are the same principles I stand by now. There is no fucking regret for me. I don't give a fuck how this situation turns out. There is no regret for me. I hope you guys had a great time tonight, honey. Okay, I gave y'all some back-to-back ass commentary, girl. I'm about to take a break from this goddamn fupa commentary, girl. Okay, we're gonna have to get back to some regular smegula CTV shit, girl. Okay, shit, y'all might not hear from me about none of this shit until September the goddamn 8th, child. That might be the next time you hear from CTV. Okay, about whatever. Yes, she did. Miko taking blows from many. Lord have mercy. The strength of that woman. Just keep her covered. Yeah, you just gotta stay in love. If you lose sight of the love, you're gonna feel stress loving. You know, you just gotta keep. If you're gonna fight, you just gotta keep reminding yourself of why you're fighting. Why you're fighting. You know, whether you're fighting for yourself, whether you're fighting on behalf of somebody else, you know, you got to pull that energy from love so that you're not pulling on your own chi. You know, when you're pulling on your own chi, when you yield into your own power, you are going to get exhausted. When you're pulling from your own ego, when you're using your own personal, your own personal life force, that's the place that sorcerers work from. That's why a lot of sorcerers, they die young, because they manifest and create from their own chi. But as a believer, I pull from love. That's why I've been able to do this shit for 3, 4, 5 months now straight. I ain't tired yet. I'm here to the end. And when I gotta engage, I engage in it from a place of fucking love. Like, that's the premium gas. I would never use any of my own energy to engage in this shit with. That's why when I do it, I'm able to do it and have fun. I'm able to do it and cut up and go on with my fucking life. It's not. I give this energy back because I'm borrowing the energy that's sustaining me through all of it. So just stay in love, and it ain't no fucking regrets. It's like everybody got to stand for something, shit. So hey, some people go into the army. They gonna die for their country. Some people decide to be police officers. They gonna die for protecting perfect strangers. Some people decide to be firefighters. They're choosing to possibly die for saving someone else's life. Everybody gets to choose what the fuck they stand for, and ain't no regrets in the end. Ain't no regrets. If you went into a burning house and you acquire burns, saving somebody else and bringing somebody else out of harm's way, those burns are your war wounds. Those are your badges of honor. So when I look at what has happened, because I was being supportive of people in the situation for the past 2 years, and I look at the docs and I look at all the shit, for me, all that shit is my badge of honor. I'm proud to have gotten involved. I don't have no regrets. I love the people that I got involved for. Ain't no regrets for me. I stand by every last single one of my actions. I stand by all of my loyalty. I stand behind all of my patience. I stand behind all of the passion that I put. I stand behind every fucking bit of it. And those motherfuckers attempting to come for me over 2 years has been nothing but a receipt of my love. Because they're only coming after me because I loved people in this situation. So be it. So fucking be it. So I gotta go. Love you guys. Check your Facebook. Okay, boo, I will check my Facebook. T Trisha, my Scar Smile Story. Period. Let me go over there and lay prostate at me because good night, everybody. I'm out. Peace.